What's happening? Last night I found a sort of collection of sort of like little quotes and notes that I wrote myself in 2022 when I was really in a bit of a rank place at uni. And yesterday when I was cleaning out my room a bit, I found them. And I've got I had a lot of points there, a lot of quotes, a lot of ideas that I'm going to sort of include into these videos. And I was going through them last night to see which ones are good. And I came across this quote where it was, small minds discuss other people, good minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. So I'm going to sort of break down that philosophy today and break down each point and sort of show what is that great mind mentality that we're all trying to sort of aim to look for in our lives. Like I said, small minds discuss other people. The small-minded mentality, that's when you gossip about drama, personal affairs of other people. And you do this to sort of feel superior or get that external validation. But they lack having like a personal, deeper interest in that conversation topic or that person. It's all about sort of just like questioning drama rather than not questioning like moments and events and ideas. A lot of this talk is who did what instead of what is the bigger picture here. Like, we're asking sort of like the lowest level of question when we've got this mentality and this mindset. The questions that you sort of hear would be, did you hear about so and so, or did you see what happened with these guys? Rather than, how can we improve what's going on with these people? How can we improve how we think about the situation? The problem is that gossip adds no value to any conversation, really. Gossip is sort of the throwaway material in life where you're gossiping and you go in circles, you're going nowhere. It's just, you're gossiping, really. You're not doing anything. You're not gaining anything from this conversation by just yapping. It also stunts our growth because we don't think beyond the realms of just like snide comments, gossip. It also fosters negativity, judgment, and toxicity between people, friends, families, and it makes a barrier and it gets in the way of a lot of like relationships, and it puts them at risk a lot of the time as well. The solution to having this small mind mentality would be to shift our focus from who did what to why things happen and what can be learned from them. Good minds, on the other hand, they discuss events. They discuss events about trends, the world, and events in our lives. They impact our lives and society as a whole, where we have to think more about what the impacts are of these things on how they're going to either benefit our lives or negatively affect them. It also encourages us to sort of discuss these events of what's going on. One of them heavily at the moment will be obviously like America, Russia, Ukraine. It's one of the ones where, like, as someone from England, we have to sort of discuss and understand it, although it's not currently directly affecting us yet. It might do, but we need to know about it just in case. And especially if we start getting involved with that drama, we need to be ready. And if people are not understanding that grasping that understanding of something bad could happen here, then it will be worrying. But by having this mindset, it encourages us to talk about it. One meme that I loved when it first dropped was the Jaden Smith one, when he went, can we talk about the political and economic situation of the world right now? And then the guy goes, bro. In hindsight, Jaden Smith was onto something. Because, like I said before, these small-minded people are not, they're just gossiping. And Jaden Smith was saying, like, he is having these conversations about events and life that, in the space that he's in especially, will directly affect him. And he got a lot of stick for that, because I reckon a lot of the younger generation saw it as like, what is bro yapping about? But really, how I see it now is like, he was onto something there. Maybe we do need to talk about the political and economic state of the world right now, because he said that years ago, and it's got worse, and we haven't thought about it. So we might have found that meme hilarious at the time. Now, in hindsight, you go, damn, we did not actually think about it in that moment, and we didn't have the good mindset to think about events. Discussing events, you can analyze these events, and you can learn and teach yourself about it, and understand the level of what's actually happening in your own life, your own friendships, your own emotions, and what's going on around you. And without understanding, we'll never know the deeper cause of these events that are going down. We have to go beyond what happened as a question, what happened, and ask ourselves, why did it happen? What this means for us, and how will this affect our future? Now, if we go further, you've got the great minds. And the great minds, they discuss ideas. They focus on innovation, philosophies, self-improvement, and problem solving. And they're points that I've picked out a lot on my videos recently. And I'm not saying by any means I've got a great mind. I yap. I don't fully understand all the events. I'm probably a mix of all three. But the people with this great mind, they have a streamlined focus on them four things. Ideas, they shape the world and drive progress. And it encourages creativity. One thing that I said a few weeks ago was, we need more people to be creative. And when you have this great mind, it encourages you to be more creative, think more deeply, and have more meaningful conversations. People with great minds also discuss business strategies, philosophical debates, slipped up there, and their own personal development. And like I said, I'm tapping into a few of these at the moment, because I really want to try and see improvement in my life and my thinking. A lot of the questions are, how can we, instead of, did you hear about? So it's another development from good minds to great minds. You see it where the small mind, and then the good mind has a question above that, and then the great mind has a question above that question. And the way that they're thinking about it is just vastly superior than the people that are only thinking about other people and their problems, rather than the world and their own and the future. The impact is that great minds influence, create, and inspire, rather than just observing. You'll see it. A lot of what some people do is people watch, and sometimes that can be really fun. You just sit on a bench in the park and you go, I wonder what they're up to in their life. And or like, if you're in a busy street, and like, say if you go to New York, and there are millions of people there, and you just sort of go like, everyone here's got a mental life, and so have I, and no one knows what's going on. We're just all walking past each other, ignoring one another. But you just, instead of observing, you influence, you create, you put yourself out there rather than just in the background and watch. We have to take these conversations and turn them into taking action. We spoke about this the other day. I'm someone who's heavily grasped their life and wants to take action of it. And this is what people with great minds do. We have to think, how are we going to achieve this great mindset? And it's by reading, learning, and being around thinkers And the main question we ask ourselves as a great thinker is, what can be done, rather than what happened? Because we need to already know what's happened. We need to be on top of it. And rather than getting the answers from someone else, we need to get them ourselves and really sort of push the boundaries on getting our own answers rather than waiting for other people to tell them. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to sort of achieve a great mind. But I think the healthiest way to live is to sort of have a bit of all three, because like we said before, not everyone's perfect, or no one's perfect. You can't be perfect, because what is perfect? And it's quite healthy to not know everything that's going on in the world, not think about everything all the time. And who doesn't love a gossip? Who doesn't love it? Because there's always something where someone sort of like does something silly, and then you have to sort of just be in your relaxed state and go, that is mental. That is actually hilarious. Like, and that's what keeps the balance of people having their personality and character, where they've got something about them, where they're not just thinking so heavily about the future and how they're going to make a change. That's how we also stay in the present. And we don't need to know about everything. We don't need to think about the future. We just can actively stay present and just keep the mentality of what we want our tunnel vision of life to be.